Hey guys, welcome back. Today's going to be another Chit Chat Get Ready With Me video. Today I'm going to share with you the struggles that I have faced with anxiety and depression and that I am currently going through right now. And I think doing these Get Ready With Me chit-chatty videos is a good way to use products for the first time, so getting a little bit of first impressions, because I don't want to detract from what it is I'm saying by trying to do reviews, and I think that would just double the length of the video. So I also don't know, you know what, the hair is not going to stay down. It is just not it. I am too hot. This shirt may come off. I do have a tank top on underneath. We'll see. I'm going to try to avoid the cat ears, but the cat ears might come out if these little hairs start springing into action. So I'm going to leave the base a little bit tacky just to help with the longevity of the liquid eyeshadow and hope that it doesn't crease. All right. Oh, it's so pretty. Alright, so I apologize, but I did have to take the shirt off because I was way too hot. I actually just stood in our cold storage room for like a good 5 minutes just to cool down. Between the lights and the fireplace and everything, it's too much, and I'm sure the wine isn't helping either, but that's not going to stop me. I am not a quitter. I'll walk you through this eye, and I'm going to open up to you. So for the other shadows that I've used to blend out my eye, I used a palette from ColourPop, and I'm confused by it. On the front it says Cute AF, on the back it says Yes Please. What's the name of it? I'm going to go with Yes Please, but I don't know. Anyways, it's very warm toned in nature. It has been out for a little while. I just received it in the mail maybe a week ago, and I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, so I'm playing with it now. Which shadow did I use? Okay, so they do print the names, but they don't print them underneath the shadow. They print them on the back. So Champs is the one that I'm using. Yeah, Champs is the one that I'm using. So I have mentioned it before in videos, and it's not something that I hide. I'm quite open about it. For me, mental health issues are nothing, I don't know. There is definitely a stigma attached to depression, to anxiety, to any sort of mental health issue. I think we're starting to get past that. I think there's a lot more awareness. I think more and more people are becoming open with the struggles that they face. And frankly, I think the pace of life that we face now contributes to creating these issues. I think certain people have a predilection for it, but I think it's more and more prevalent now because there are so many more demands on our time and so many more criticisms that we face, even if they're oblique. Like, I had to stop basically Pinteresting parenting things when Aspen was a baby because I just felt like I could never reach up to that standard that I kept seeing with like the parenting side of things. I was like, oh my god, I need to do sensory play. My kid's fine. She's fine. I don't know that I ever created goop for her. I don't think I ever did that. Did I? No, that doesn't sound like something I would do. Sorry, the shade I'm now using is Big Cocktails. It's like orangey shade here. It creates like a ton of fallout, by the way. Just FYI, if you didn't like subculture, you're not going to like this palette. So I don't really know what the starting point of it was. If I look back, even as a child, I remember there were times like my dad would be putting me to bed and I would just have this feeling of fear, and it wasn't tied to anything. Like, I wasn't afraid of something under my bed. I wasn't afraid of the boogeyman in the closet. I wasn't afraid of the dark. I was just afraid. And then I went on to high school, and I went to a private school much on full scholarship, I will say. My lifestyle did not come anywhere close to the vast majority of the kids I went to school with, and that was fine. That in itself didn't create an issue for me. The issue was that I just felt lonely all the time. Even when I was with other people, I just felt lonely. And the times when I was alone, which happened quite frequently, because most, like my two roommates usually were gone on weekends, and a lot of my friends were day students, so they weren't there on the weekends, and I would feel very alone. And it would be very difficult to deal with. I would dread sort of the weekends coming up because I knew that was the time where everything would get quiet. And the thing with me is that I like to be by myself when I choose to be. I think I am very much an introvert, like in the classic sense. I am outgoing, I am social, but then I need alone time to recharge. And I think that's part of my problem right now, is that between two children, a husband, a full-time job, it's hard to come home and recharge because my children want to spend time with me and I want to spend time with them. And then once they're in bed, I want to spend time with my husband, but I still need time to myself. And I think that's why I'm staying up later and later, which it all kind of snowballs, because when you're sleep deprived, you're not in the best mental health state anyways. And you know, there it goes. Going in with French Kiss, the dark brown down on the bottom here. So, you know, and the same thing kind of happened in university, and it got a little bit more intense for me. Again, my roommates, well, one of them was flat out batshit, but the other two, who I actually really did enjoy spending time with them, you know, they would go home on the weekends, visit their family, visit friends that they had from high school and whatnot, boyfriends, all that kind of stuff. And I didn't have that, and so I did feel, again, very alone. And I think that is when I started turning to eating as a coping mechanism. But I never thought that there was, you know, a diagnosable issue. I just thought, I'm by myself and lonely. It seems to go hand in hand. It's a natural thing, and you know, I've always sort of felt that way, and I would get very overwhelmed by things, but again, I just thought that was normal because that was the way it's always been for me. So I entered law school when I was 24. Yes, I was 24, graduated at 27. And in that time, again, that overwhelming sense of loneliness when I was at school. There were literally hundreds of people around, and I still felt like there was a wall between me and them. Like I could see them, they couldn't see me. Like it just felt like I was coexisting, but almost on like another plane, if that makes any sense. Like it just, and it's not to say that I didn't have friends, because I did, and I'm still friends with a lot of them now, but it just, that was how I sort of floated through my days. And I really struggled. I really thought that I was going to quit law school at one point, because it was just so hard. It was so hard to keep motivated, to keep going, to keep pushing forward. Okay, so I'm going to sidetrack for a second. I tried using this Super Last eyeliner from Essence. I can't use this. The applicator's all, can you see that? Like it's curved, but it's still like really flexible. So it's just, like it is really black, it is really wet, but I can't use that because I can't get any sort of precision out of it. So ultimately I went in with the L'Oreal Infallible Super Slim Liquid Eyeliner. It's just a felt tip liner like this. And then for mascara, I'm trying out the Killer Curves mascara from Physicians Formula, except that I realize now that I bought it in black brown, which isn't really a mascara color that I like, but I guess it's good to have options. I don't know. So because I can't talk and do this at the same time, I'm just going to pause here, apply these, and then we'll jump into the face stuff. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so that's done. Picked up the Refreshment Depuffer from Physicians Formula, Cucumber and Bamboo. I have used this a couple of times. To be honest, I don't really notice that it does anything, but I think it adds a bit of moisture underneath my eyes, so that can't really hurt anything, but I don't think that it is a miracle cure by any stretch. So I don't remember where I left off, and I know I'm jumping around, and I apologize for that, but I haven't made notes on this kind of stuff, and I certainly haven't scripted anything, so you're getting a jumbled mess, and hopefully you can connect the dots at the end of it. But law school was difficult. I finally graduated. That was good. It was very good. I enjoy the practice of law for the most part. School, did not enjoy. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. But the actual practice is good. I enjoy having an impact on people's lives, and I try to make it as positive as possible. I'm bound by the law and people's individual circumstances. I can't, create miracles, but there have been clients where I really feel like I have made a very positive impact on their lives and the lives of their children, and that is what keeps me going in family law. But it's certainly not without its struggles. That is for damn sure. I'm going to color correct with an Annabelle Perfect Corrector in Peach, just to help out with those dark circles. So, like I said, Aspen was about a year old when I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I really think I could have stood to be diagnosed earlier than that, but I didn't seek a diagnosis per se. I just didn't know that there was anything wrong. However, it all sort of came to a head because, like I said, I was just getting so overwhelmed by minimal things. Things that should not have overwhelmed me really, really were. And I could spend hours in bed just staring. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't reading or playing on my phone, I would just be staring. And it was scaring my husband. That was the turning point for me. That was when I realized, this is not normal. This is not how people live their lives. And I went to the doctor. And I was terrified that she was going to institutionalize me or something, but no, she gave me medication, offered counseling, but I don't do counseling. I've tried it, and I don't like it. I tend to veer the conversation away from the issue at hand because I'm just not comfortable with it. So, I'm going to try the Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation from Tarte. This has been out for a long time, but I've never tried it, and I have little sample packs, so I'm going to try light neutral because it's the only one that sounds like it's even remotely close to my skin. So that's where we were at. So she put me on a medication called Cipralex, and it deals with anxiety and depression, and it worked. It really did calm my mind, because that was a major part of my problem, and something I haven't mentioned yet was that I really couldn't go to sleep. And when I finally did go to sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would be drafting court documents in my head, or drafting letters, or creating to-do lists, and there was no end to it. I just could not turn it off. So the medication really did help with that. And once the anxiety was under control, the depression sort of followed suit. Now, I can't say that that is a miracle cure, though, because it does still flare up from time to time. I am currently in the midst of what I would consider to be a depressive episode. I'm still able to function. I've been doing a lot of research on basically high-functioning depression, which is what I believe I have, because I have suffered from this for several years. It's always sort of low-grade, but I don't have any sort of manic episodes. I don't swing super high, I don't swing super low, but there can just be this baseline, and then if I get knocked off by whatever, I get a shitty email from somebody, or somebody cuts me, like whatever, somebody gives me the finger in traffic, it doesn't matter. Sometimes that's enough to trigger, and even though I've been having a good day up until that point, then it's gone. It's like the rug is pulled out for me and I am just flat on my back for the rest of the day, or possibly 2 days, and I find it really difficult to get back up from that. And that's even with medication. So I'm also currently just feeling overwhelmed with life. So thankfully I now work with one of my best friends, and she fully understands me and she supports me and she doesn't judge me, and we've always got each other's backs. So it's a much healthier environment to be in. When I do need to take time away, I can, without feeling judged. As for the foundation, I really don't mind it. I don't know that it's like the best match tonally, but I really don't mind that. The concealer that I'm using is from Dermablend, the Quick Fix concealer, and I like it. I really do. It's like a stick thing, but I find rubbing my finger on it and then patting it on is the way to go, rather than trying to draw it on underneath. I like that. I'm going to set it all with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Sweep and Look, which is not new, but newish. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so it just, it's one of those things that I just think we need to be a little bit more understanding towards people. Like, I don't choose to be this way. I don't choose to get overwhelmed by things. I don't choose to get stuck. And that's sort of what happens to me. When I get overwhelmed, I just get stuck, and then I just can't do anything, and I can't make decisions, and I can't function properly, and it's really, really difficult. And I know that I'm not the only one who gets like that. So it, thankfully, I mean, my husband is such a wonderful man. He really is. He's so supportive. He's so great. He never, says shitty things to me. He's never like, why can't you do more? Why can't you do this? Blah, blah, blah. He's just, what do you need? And he can read me. And there are times where if I get super stressed out about stuff, I will unfairly lash out at him. And we don't fight and we don't yell, but I will not act my best self. And he, to his supreme credit, knows not to take it personally, doesn't engage, doesn't get defensive. He will acknowledge what I've said, and he'll say what's really going on, and he will help me through it. Like, it's phenomenal. He is a wonderful man. He really, really is. So I certainly don't want to make it sound like every day is a struggle, because every day is certainly not a struggle. I think, like anybody, I have good days and I have bad days. And it just seems to me the pattern is always that in January, it's just terrible, frankly. I always struggle in January, and I don't know if it's a seasonal thing. I don't really know if it's, post-holiday or just what it is, but I always seem to get really down in January, and I'm going through that right now. Blush was from the Radiant Blush Kit from Anastasia. By the way, I feel so badly for Norvina that somebody leaked the new ABH palette that's coming up. I can't imagine pouring all of your work into that, your heart and soul, and being so excited to announce it, only to have somebody else do it first. I have been through sort of dark days before. Like I said, law school was really hard on me. It was a really challenge. Law school was a really big challenge for me. I did end up, I don't want to talk about that. There's some things I'm not prepared to talk about. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I came across an article today talking about high-functioning depression, basically pervasive depression. It's sort of like what I experience. It's low grade, but it's long-term. I don't tend to suffer those like must stay in bed all day kind of deals, although every now and then I do just want to nest. Funny little coping mechanisms that I have, like my pillow that I have is made of really dense memory foam, so it's really heavy, so sometimes I'll just like lie that on top of me and use a different pillow, just because the weight of it is comforting. I don't know what it is. Just stuff like that. I like being in darker rooms. Like, I don't want to sit in the dark, but I like to have the lights off, and I have like a salt lamp, so it's a really soft light. I really like that. I love this. Like, I love just playing with makeup because it gives me something else to focus on, and so I'm still expending energy, but it's directed at something. For brows, I'm going to try the Brow Stylist Boost and Set from L'Oreal. I haven't tried this one before, I just picked it up. Ooh, well, that's curious. This is just a little tiny guy. The baby. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I still take the meds. I think I will always take the meds. I had to come off them when I was pregnant with Bennett. Well, I suppose you can still stay on them. It's a cost-benefit kind of analysis. What's the risk to the baby versus what's the need of the mother? And there was so much going on with Bennett as it was, and high-risk pregnancy and all that, that I wanted to mitigate my risks, and his risks certainly, so I just came off of all of my meds. Not that I take many, but I came off of my anxiety meds. And so going through bed rest and hemorrhaging while not having any sort of pharmaceutical assistance was a challenge. Oh crap, just got it all over my eye. But it really wasn't too bad, and so after he was born, it's actually really easy to use if you don't fuck it up like I did. It lays down a lot of product though. Let's see if my eyebrows get super crunchy, but they don't look too bad. I just gotta wipe that up. So after he was born, I thought, hey, maybe I don't need them anymore. Maybe I'll be okay without them. That lasted about 2 months. Well, it lasted about 4 days. After the 4-day mark, I went crazy. I cried over everything. I was hit with baby blues so hard. But my reactions to things were just so extreme. Like, I found the cat in the baby's bassinet once, and the baby wasn't in there, but the cat was, and it just infuriated me, and I can't explain it. It was just blind white anger, and I whipped the bed upside, like the bassinet upside down. The cat went flying, the bed went flying, Barry came flying up the stairs thinking I had fallen just days after a C-section, and I just remember sobbing in his arms and saying, I can't do this, I can't do this. And he was asking me, like, what can't you do? What is it? What can I help you with? And I was like, this, I can't do anything, I can't do this. And that lasted, I want to say 5 days. Like, it was 5 days, 10 days. It was about 10 days of just losing my mind. I could not, not control myself. Like, if people asked me, like, hey, how are you doing? I would burst into tears. I could be in the middle of playing with my newborn son, who I had prayed and hoped for and worried about and dreamed of holding, and I would just cry, and I didn't know what it was. Like, it was not good. And so I let that ride for a little bit. It got a bit better, and then it just got to the point where I just didn't feel anything. And that's what really scared me. It wasn't so much that I was sad or angry, it was just, I didn't feel anything. And that was even more terrifying. So I kind of feel like I'm just going in circles at this point. Like I said, I did not sit down and script anything, and I didn't like list out talking points that I wanted to hit. I just wanted to share something personal about myself with you guys. I find it is very helpful to talk about this. I just don't like talking in like a formal therapy kind of setting. It just, that, I don't know. It's weird for me because I almost feel like I'm not entitled to suffer from depression. So I have all these wonderful, amazing things in my life, and I am incredibly grateful for them. So I don't know how to describe it. It's not that I'm looking for more. I don't want a different husband or different children or a bigger house or more money. That's not what leaves me lying in bed some days. That's not it at all. That's not what I ruminate about. I ruminate about, am I a good enough person? Am I a good enough mother or wife? Am I a good enough lawyer? Am I a good enough friend? Do I deserve to have the happiness that I have? I just have this pervasive, nagging self-doubt, and it can be very destructive and very distracting, and it's very difficult. And I want to be the best at what I do, which is an impossible standard to reach. I mean, it really is. And how would you quantifiably define who's the best mother? Who's the best anything? How can you really put a qualifier on that? Because it's going to mean different things to different people. So it's logically, I get that, but it's still just that little voice in my head that's like, you're not enough. And it's really hard to shut that voice up. I do try. A lot of times I succeed, but the times that I don't and I can sink right down into it, it's like a rock that just pulls you down, and it's so hard to break free and get back out of that. So I just wanted to share that. And if any of you suffer from any sort of illness or any sort of challenges that you want to share with me, please feel free to leave me a comment. Or if that is too public for you, I do have my email address listed in the About Me section of my YouTube page. And feel free to send me an email there, and I'd be happy to, have a conversation with you about it. I think we can all stand to support each other. We can all stand to be kind to each other and be more understanding of the challenges that other people face. It's so easy to judge people. It's so easy, and it's so, I don't know, comfortable? I don't know what the word would be. I mean, this is sort of the reason why these drama channels have the followings that they have, is that people want to see other people knock down a peg or two. You know what I mean? And I can't say that I am never guilty of that myself, but I try not to be. I try to be understanding of people. I do, and I'm not always. I'm not perfect by any stretch. I am not this pristine individual that everybody should, aspire to be. But just be more kind than you are shitty, frankly. I don't know, we're going to move on. I'm going to try to end this on a more positive note. I still need to set this, so I'm going to use the Keep It Perfect, because that just played into it too nicely, from Essence. It's a makeup fixing spray. You are incredibly aggressive. Also, it doesn't smell good. What is your problem? What did I do to you? No, I don't like that. Nope. Let's go Milani. You're gentle, thank you. And you smell very nice. On the positive, I have more good days than I have bad. There's that. And I think it's something that I'm always going to deal with, and that's okay. I can accept that. So this is the Tom Ford lipstick in Indian Rose. It's just a sample. These things are $70 Canadian. It's pretty. It's comfortable. But it didn't make me dinner and it didn't wash my car. $70. I don't know. Alright. I need to wrap this up. And I don't know how. I have tried like 10 times to put an end to this video and I just can't do it without like veering off topic and rambling as I'm doing now yet again. I guess all I want to say is this is not a pity party at all. I do not feel sorry for myself. It is what it is. I am grateful that there are pharmaceuticals out there for me. I am grateful that I have the support of wonderful friends and a wonderful husband. My daughter's too young, and certainly Bennett's too young to really understand the struggles that I face, but they love me unconditionally. Those children, I am their world. Barry is their world, and it's a wonderful and humbling thing. So really the point of this video, just to share, just to let you know more about me, just to let me air the struggles that I'm facing right now. I'm not looking for anybody to fix me. I have no answers to fix anybody else. I don't. There is no magic cure. There isn't. But I think if we're all kinder to each other, and certainly if we're kinder to ourselves, this world could be a much better place than what it is. Anyways, that's it. I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be kind. Be kind to others and be kind to yourself. Absolutely be kind to yourself. Alright, bye for now, guys. You have no idea how much anxiety this stupid black cord causes me. I just want to like not have it show, but to do that I have to be like super close, but then I watch my videos back and I'm like, that's a whole lot of my face. Editing this is going to be a